starlight. Count my lucky stars, I'm alright. Things are looking up, my desires are on sight. Gotta keep grinding, make sure that it lasts forever, not only one night.
Hey everyone, what's up? It's Noah from Cola REI, famously hot real estate group. And tonight we're meeting the man behind the music. If you've ever attended one of our re-up meetings here in Columbia, South Carolina, you've heard his music before. If you've ever watched any of these videos, he does the intros, he does the outros. He's one of my favorite musicians. He's a stone cold real estate investor. A lot of you know the musician, but you don't know the real estate side of things, right? You had no idea he was a real estate investor. Some of you may know the real estate investor and have no clue that he's just this awesome musician. And so tonight I get to introduce you to and share with you one of my good friends, Jean-Luc, aka Jawny Badluck. So without further ado, let's get him on the stream and let's welcome Jawny Badluck to the show. What's up, man?
What's up? How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Good to see you, man.
Dude, I love that shirt.
Oh, thank you. Like the paisley?
Yeah.
Basically, they just took a bandana and just rolled it out. Just rolled it into the shirt.
Just pressed it out.
Basically what they did here.
Dude, I switched up my wardrobe a little bit. Usually I just do like something simple, but I wanted to I needed
do it.
A little drip.
I'm not waiting, I'm doing it.
A little drip for the kids, right? Little
drip drop.
So man, I'm so excited to have you on the show. Your music is, the more and more that I listen to it, I hear all of these real estate, I don't know what the word is, like themes, right?
Yeah.
In a lot of it, right? And that's one of the things that I was picking out music for like our group, and I was like, and I'll be honest with you, like a lot of it had to do with like what I'm listening to before I go and visit a seller or before I go and negotiate a big deal. I'm playing some Jawny Badluck, and I'm playing Life in Starlight, talking about raising money and cashing rent checks and things like that. Do you have like any particular song or something that you listen to before you go and try to take down a big deal or meet with a seller?
That's a good question, man. To be honest, like my playlist ranges when I'm in the car going to do something, let's say a closing or go meet with somebody. It ranges from like beats that I'm listening to that I just want to vibe to while I'm in traffic, or mixes of songs that are in the creation stage. I want to hear it in the car. I want to feel, how does this feel in the beginning stages while I'm just driving through traffic? So selfishly, it's usually like my own stuff or collaborations. But when I am listening to artists, I love Bone Thugs and Harmony. First of the Month is like one of my favorite songs of all time. And really anything from Bone Thugs is perfect for me when I'm going to something important.
Do you think of rent checks when you hear
100%?
First of the month?
Yeah, exactly. First and the 15th. Yes.
Yeah. So, our group is about three things: learning, networking, and growing. And I think we're checking all three of those boxes with having you on this episode.
Thanks, man.
Thanks
for having me.
Yeah, we're big believers in like, hey, look, real estate doesn't have to be your passion. Like I know a lot of friends and other investors who it's like, they're striving to be the next big real estate guru, or they got to do 100 deals a year or whatever. I think you and I have a lot in common in the sense that like I like real estate, but I like more so what it can do for us. And do you think that real estate has helped? By leveraging real estate, have you been able to like pursue your music more?
Dude, that's a great question. To be honest, back in 2012 is when I was really like, as an independent artist, starting to, at least in my world, get some traction in Orlando, Florida. I had graduated. I had gotten a job doing some stuff in the studio and kind of, getting my bills paid. And I was able to start doing shows and do merch and did my first music video, When the Sun Comes Up. If any of my OG fans remember that, yeah. When the Sun Comes Up. At that time, my dream at that time was like, wow, if I could find a way to fund what I'm doing right now, the way that it's going, which was really good. I was starting to get a following. this could be the key. This is the key to not getting a job. If I could just maybe wholesale 1 or 2 houses a month, that was the idea, right? And I think for most people getting started, you're like, man, if I could just wholesale that one house, if I could just get that one house, if I could just make $1,000, if I could lose $1,000,
right?
And of course, since then it's expanded. But I think going back to your question, I didn't realize what it was going to grow into.
Yeah. And, I always tell people, like, it doesn't matter like what you do for a living, more so what you do with your money and how you invest it.
Right.
And you've been investing since, I think you said 2012. What would you say? Like, do you have any advice that you would give to someone that was new or just starting out, trying to figure this thing out? Like, what would you tell someone who hasn't done their first deal yet?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is, like, this might be obvious, is working on your credit. A lot of us weren't taught how to use credit. I certainly wasn't taught how to do it properly or how to avoid the Bloomingdale's credit card scheme. Like, I ended up with all kinds of weird stuff on my credit that I never even intended on being there. So I think more education around just getting your credit score into the 700s, no matter what route you go in real estate, that is going to help you, period.
Yeah.
So, I think that's the first thing for anybody, is like, work on your credit and try to get yourself into your first home. I think is always a good idea if you're in the right position. But now the game has sort of changed, right, Noah? Like, when I bought my first house, and G. Martin, one of our good buddies, good mentors of ours, gave me some advice. He said, Johnny, stop renting. Stop renting, Johnny. Because I was, Gerald, what do I need to do? Like, should I quit my job? How do I get into this business? Do I wholesale a house? Like, what do I do? He's like, Johnny, are you renting? I was like, yeah. He's like, stop. and it's burned into my head. We were in New Orleans when he told me that, and we were working together. And 6 months later, I bought my first house. That was 2012. And that was kind of like my first deal.
Yeah.
And that propelled me into, okay, I got my house. Now let's work on the business.
Sure. Took care of yourself.
Yes.
Right? And then worked on your business. Smart. And you've leveraged credit even for all kinds of things, not just flips, but rental property. And I think, you're one of my private money lenders, which, if I were to guess, I'd say you probably pull from a line of credit every once in a while to do that. Am I right?
Yes, that's 100% accurate. One thing that, was always drilled into my head, and I still believe in to this day, is continuing to raise lines of credit and acquire new lines of credit. Even if it's like, well, people are always like, why do you need that many lines of credit? Why do you need so many credit cards? Yeah. It's really not about what you need it for. It's just having the availability and just knowing it's on the shelf, and, oh, this one's at 0%. Oh, this one will give me airline miles. I'll take this one today.
Sure.
I love having those type of options, especially in a situation where it's like, hey, you can put some money into a deal and it doesn't all have to come from my pocket. I love getting returns on other people's money.
Right on. And what are you working on now? Like, music wise, real estate wise? Like, what do you got going on? I saw you on Instagram. You were like doing a music video at the mall or something like that.
Yeah, we like shut down the mall, and like security was coming after us. And shout out to my buddy Double XL, who's temporarily in a chair because he hurt his leg. And so, I mean, it was just very whimsical and awesome. And a lot of people recognized us at the mall, which was really cool. Shout out to those people. They were like, hey, I follow you on Instagram.
Yeah.
That made me feel good. That really made my day better. Thank you for that, whoever you were. It was fun, man. We're really just trying to, like, get the community involved. And while I'm still here in Albuquerque.
So you're in Albuquerque right now? Duke City?
Yep. While I'm still here in Albuquerque.
While you're still there?
Okay. I want to do as much as I can with the community and involve other artists. So to answer your question, I have some singles coming out with other artists, a lot of collaborations, but I'm working on a very special project that's like a rap, rock, punk infusion, live drums, guitars, but still with the hip hop vibes.
Love it.
So, and you've actually seen a small preview to that I sent you. That's like one of the first finished pieces of that before the live drums and guitars.
Yeah, flames up.
Flames up, buddy.
We're ready for it.
There's a lot going on, man. I'm excited. And this business, in terms of that, still have some wholesale deals going on. I'm selling a subject to property that I was supposed to be refinancing But because where the market is, I've kind of just decided, and I've never really been in this position before, where I'm liquidating multiple things at one time in an up market. So that's kind of exciting. I've never really
good for you, man.
that. Dude, yeah. Like I just remember the climb, from 2012. It's like we've just been watching it, and luckily I made a couple smart moves a year ago, acquired some things, and I can just dump them now and help propel into the next phase of my life. So I'm excited.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with selling and, and riding those waves and, knowing when to walk away from some properties so that you can get more capital to buy bigger stuff. Right.
Right. And, it's funny because you're sort of taught the school of thought of like, no, you never sell, you're supposed to build your portfolio. Don't. So I sort of battled with myself. Like, am I just being cash hungry? Like, is this just a cash play, but you're going to regret it? But I think it comes down to age and stage of life and what you're doing. And I'm just really excited for this next phase because I'm able to parlay these investments that no longer really serve me at the highest level by keeping them.
Do you think that like the real estate, are there like similarities between like the real estate industry and the music industry? Are there any different? Is there like are they completely different? Or is there anything?
I mean, maybe you would agree with this. It's pretty cutthroat, but real estate is a lot more, there's a lot more ethics, and I feel like there's more good people in real estate than in the music industry.
Yeah.
I think that the music industry, just like real estate, is super competitive. And just like no matter what market you're in, if you're just starting, if you're a new artist in LA, it's almost equally as hard as being a new artist in Beaumont, Texas. Right? Same with being a real estate investor. You could say, man, there's just no deals here. Beaumont, there's all these guys get all the good deals, but you could say the same thing in LA where you have so much competition and so many big dogs and players that have been there forever.
Sure.
I think you just have to make your own competition.
It sounds like both take a lot of hard work.
Yeah. You have to really want this, I would say, for both real estate and for music, or just choose to be mediocre. That's an option too. Like there's an option that I could not go hard with music and just sort of play at this hobbyist level. Like, oh, here's some songs.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go down like that. And I don't want to go down like that as an investor either. I want to play hard, but I'm not necessarily trying to be Grant Cardone either.
Right. But you're just putting your money to work.
Yeah, and that's what I love about what you guys teach and your group is that it's really about lifestyle by design. I'm able to really live for the first time in a long time, but now it's been several years of this freedom, and really doing my music and living it and not having to go to a day job is just such a blessing. Super grateful. Your wife, by the way, shout out to your wife because she had a huge part in my initial educational piece of getting into this business.
I'll try to get her in the studio here in a minute, maybe say what's up. But that's cool, man. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun. What's that?
I just drank this for the third time. No water.
No water.
Nothing.
No water. Yeah. Well, I've been drinking my wine glass and now there's no more wine, so it's all good. So our theme song of this group, Life in Starlight. Can you give us a little bit of like background, like when you were writing it and like, what your thought process was when you were writing it? It was a long time ago. It came out in what, like 2018, I think.
2018. Yeah. It's a really special record. And that EP was really special too. I actually co-wrote that song. Shout out to Jeremy Franchell, my brother. Co-wrote that song with him. He's a real good pop writer. If you notice that hook's real big, poppy. My brother had a lot to do with that. And we worked really well together where like he kind of sung like the Life in Starlight. And I just, diamonds in the sky, reach high, it just came out. It just came out. And we were like, ooh, okay, this is cool. Let's keep going with that. Cool. And anyways, I think that song tells a lot about where I was in life at that time, and I got to sort of intermesh the investor life, the motivation, the chasing more for yourself, but also with like the dope hip hop vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got a couple lines. Maybe you can break them down for us as they pertain to real estate.
Okay.
Want to have some fun?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Here we go. Get rich or die trying. I'm on my 50, collecting rent checks first through the 15.
Well, obviously, any OG fans of 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. That was his first major album, also a movie.
Yeah.
You guys get it.
It's one of my wife's favorite quotes, get rich or die trying. So we love it. We love it. All right. I have a hard time just reading this, so I'm gonna sing it or rap it. Okay. Here's the next one. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Raised a couple mil so I could fund a deal. Now I'm feeling too trill, like it isn't real, whether you in it for the love or the thrill.
I love it. I love it.
Break it down. Break it down. So you're talking about raising private money, right?
Exactly. So basically what I'm talking about right there is raise a couple mil so I can fund a deal, basically, is talking about when I first started, I had no money, nothing. And so the only thing I could do, nothing, Jerry. The only thing I could do was raise private money or hard money. And guess what? Most private didn't want to lend me money. I was too young, had a lip ring. I looked like I was in a punk rock band at the time. So, nobody wanted to lend me money. But what I learned was that hard money lenders really don't care what you look like, what you sound like, what you've done, what you haven't done. If you have a criminal record, you've been to prison, right? They're so flexible. And there's something that's really awesome about that. For anybody that's getting into a new business like this, it goes to show you that you really just have to have the knowledge. My credit wasn't even that good at the time. Maybe 580 to 620 range was where I was. Yeah, and I'm still able to secure the funding for my first deal. So anyways, this is kind of just paying homage to, like, I raised millions of dollars between my first X amount of deals, and it's just kind of a little shout out to that.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, love it, love it. All right,
it's probably more than 2 mil. It's probably more than 2 mil, honestly, but it sounded cool. So
yeah, maybe at the couple mil, no big deal.
Oh, and then the second, like, now I'm feeling too trill, like it isn't real. Okay, so like that's an old song. Too Trill is actually like a song from the early 2000s. I wish I could remember the artist right now. Like it isn't real. Like I've hustled to get to this place, and like I feel so good right now. I can't believe this is actually real life. I'm riding a jet ski in the Gulf of Thailand right now, knowing that rent checks are coming in. How is this real? How did I even get to this place?
Yeah, awesome, love it. All right, here we go. 28 in front of me. Suddenly thoughts have shifted. Not 23 anymore. Got to pursue the vision. Feeling late to the party, but I built a business.
It's good. I'm
good. It's like, hey, you know what? Like, I like from the 23 to 28, I just put my nose to the grindstone and.
Dude, yes. As you know, you've pretty much known me since that age. A lot happened, and there was a big shift right in the middle there where I really took my life to another level. And that's kind of what that talks about, is like 28, you're almost 30 years old. I'm not 23 years old. I don't have all this time to be an artist anymore, to chase this dream. My window is getting smaller, so to speak. So it's like I got to pursue the vision that's been in my head this whole time. And then kind of late to the party, like there's all these younger artists, in my city and just in general. And I kind of jumped back in the game in 2018, like, oh, hey, here I am with Count Your Lucky Stars, Life in Starlight. And that's kind of paying homage to that. Like, I feel sort of late to the party. Like, I feel like I've been in the game the whole time, but I realize I've been detached from it, working this business and career,
Right.
And so coming to the party late, but it's like, but in the meantime, I built a business, so I'm not mad about it. I wasn't laying on the couch,
If anything, you were fashionably late.
Fashionably late, exactly. Showing up in all paisley.
Yeah, nobody wants to be on time to the party, right?
Yeah.
So this is cool, man. Well, hey, Jawny, thank you so much for your time. Is there anywhere where people like to follow you? I mean, I'll post in the, where can someone listen to your music? How can they get more than just Life in Starlight? How can they get more of what you got going on?
Yeah, man. Definitely subscribe on YouTube. I'd appreciate that. Jawny Badluck, Jawny Badluck. If you search that, click that subscribe button, smash that like button, as they say.
Smash it.
Smash it. Also Instagram at Jawny Badluck, Twitter. I don't even use my Twitter, but I do have one. My main place where I post and where I'm most active is IG and YouTube. So definitely check me out there. All streaming platforms. come check me out. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Keep doing your thing in music and in real estate. So we appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
All right, flame up.
On the front grill, raised a couple mil so I can make a deal. Now I'm feeling too trill, like it isn't real. Whether you in it for the love or the thrill, live life.
Bro, it's so funny, dude. The shit that I'll just agree, you know, like, yeah, all right, I'll do that. But and then I'm just like, what did I get myself into?
I saw that and I was like, he might want to look into getting a publicist or something. I don't know. And I was thinking of you today because we always talk about like the lake life, right? Gotta come visit. So like, there's this major league fishing tournament going on our lake this weekend, like national stage, right? And these fishermen are bringing in these huge largemouth. They're like, they're just monsters. Like they call them lunkers. And I thought, man, what a cool word to like rap about, like to throw in like a lunker, like maybe, I don't know what you would call a lunker. Like, I don't know.
Put this into your notes.
Put it in the notes. The lunker, like maybe you flipped the house and it was like a 6-figure profit. It's a lunker.
On the front grill, raised a couple mil so I can make a deal. Now I'm feeling too trill, like it isn't real. Whether you in it for the love or the thrill, live life.